you so long to jump on podcasts?
You know what? I was waiting for you guys to invite me. This is my favorite podcast.
So we've already been over this. You're a big fan of the show. You're a 92%er. What are your favorite segments that you hear Travis and I go into on a routinely basis?
I like new news just because of the screaming. Like I hear him screaming new news from across the house constantly. Yes. It's like my favorite part. Like he'll be like, new news, and I'm in the kitchen being like, new news. So I love that because of just the bellowing of it. Like I love No Dumb Questions.
That's a banger.
I really like it when you give people advice. It's kind of my personal favorite.
Do you usually agree with the advice or do you just like listening to it?
I mean, I think that like you guys give such male-centric advice. It's which I think is just dudes who don't want drama.
Yeah.
Dudes who are trying to avoid the mess. But sometimes you're going to like do a bit and say the messiest thing that they could do, which is funny too.
So we're going to ask the question everybody watching the show is currently asking. Why are you coming on the show? Why New Heights? What are you doing? You have so many better things to do with your time.
This podcast has done a lot for me. I owe a lot to this podcast. This podcast got me a boyfriend ever since Travis decided to use it as his personal dating app about 2 years ago. So
worked pretty good.
Yeah. Hey.
Were his friendship bracelets that good? Did you give the friendship bracelets or was that just on the podcast? Like,
I've never seen
the
original.
They didn't leave the stadium because I was butthurt, Jason.
He threw a tantrum. He threw a man tantrum.
He's out of here.
It's so funny. It's
my
like
plan is ruined.
She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. She loves me not.
This is so
she
wild.
Hates me.
Like it was such a wild romantic gesture to just be like, I want to date you. Like on, I don't know. It was at first when I looked at it, I was
Sweetie,
like, this dude is.
That's what it does when you're on the stage and you perform in Arrowhead. That's what it did.
This dude didn't get a meet and greet. He's making it everyone's problem. That's what I thought at first. And then I was
You come to Arrowhead, I get to meet you. That's the perk of playing for the Chiefs.
You realize he didn't even reach out to our management. I was like, when this podcast came out, I was like, did he ever reach out to be like in the tents or did we know he was in the building? He came with Pat. And he thought that because he knows the elevator lady that he could talk to her about just getting down to my
dressing room. That's how it works. You just go.
And I got denied.
That's how it works in 1973.
When the elevator wasn't invented.
But he really just was like, I know a guy, I can figure this out. But I actually, when I thought about it, I was like, actually, we live in a day and age where like I'm not an online person at all. I'm not like on social media like that. And like I'm genuinely terrified to open my DMs.
Smart.
It's about there's smoke coming out of my DMs. Like I don't want to go near that. I don't know what's.
If you want somebody to go through it, I'll go through it just because I'll laugh my ass off.
It's like if you have like 20 million unread DMs, you're just like,
not entertained?
So this kind of felt more like I was in an 80s John Hughes movie and he was just like standing outside of my window with a boombox just being like, I want to date you.
Yeah.
Do you want to go on a date with me? I made you a friendship bracelet. Do you want to date me?
Just come outside and meet me. Just meet me once. Just give me a chance.
So I was like, if this guy isn't crazy, which is a big if, this is sort of what I've been writing songs about wanting to happen to me since I was a teenager.
Yeah. And I was sitting there at the Eras Tour listening to every single one of those songs like I know what she wants me to do.
I feel that. That's
exactly what she wants me to do.
She's like, this is just her wish list of like,
meet me, please. Now I'm butthurt.
Yeah. I'm upset that you didn't meet me even though you didn't know I wanted to meet you because I didn't do any proper logistical planning.
Who plans
Typical
nowadays?
Kelce. Typical Kelce.
It was wild. It was wild, but it worked. I'm glad it worked. I'm just circling back to New Heights to say thank you for this. Yes. Look at this.
I'm the luckiest man in the world.
So yeah,
and thank you to New Heights, all the editing. Jake, thank you for putting that on social media and letting it do its course.
Before we move on, how did you know he wasn't crazy? Because that's the other side of that, right? Like a guy goes up there and professes his love for you. It's crazy, either Jason? One, it's like this could be the most romantic thing in the world. It can also be like
crazy
this
about
is
somebody.
He is crazy, Jason.
I mean, but there's a right crazy.
Yeah, he's the good kind of crazy. And I knew that he wasn't crazy the first couple of times that we talked. I was just like, he's truly getting to know me in a way that's very natural, very pure, very normal. Like also like just the way that he could make me laugh so immediately. about normal things. Like Travis is like, he's just a vibe booster in everyone's life that he's in. He's like a human exclamation point. Like, you know, he's like when you take a picture on your phone and you put you push the enhance color button. That's like what you do to everyone's life.
I'm always exclamations.
I use so many more exclamation points now, but I think it was just like, you're so non-judgmental about people. And you were not judgmental about the fact that I knew nothing about the world you were in.
It was the best.
You were nice. You were so nice.
I got a clean slate.
You were like, thank you.
You get a clean slate.
She doesn't know any of my bad stuff.
Are you kidding me?
Jason, on our first date, I legitimately asked him what it was like when the Chiefs played the Eagles in the Super Bowl and he looked across the field, across the line of scrimmage and saw his brother standing on the other, like 5 feet in front of him on the field. Yeah. And he was like, he didn't even look at me. Like, I now know what an insane question that was. He was like, actually, I'm on the offense and my brother's on the offense and I'm only on the field at the same time as the defense. I thought everyone was out there at the same time. I thought that the quarterbacks.
I mean, that's how you played it on the playground growing up. So I understand if you hadn't like.
No, you don't understand. I thought it was like Jared Goff is here and Josh Allen's here. And they're going to be like, they blow a whistle and then they go at each other and they're like, and it's like, who's going to win?
That's actually,
I would love to see Jared Goff play some defense. Let's see Jared Goff on defense.
I've got some ideas. I've got some thoughts. Yeah. I didn't know what a first down was. I didn't know what the chains were. I didn't know what a tight end was.
I am forever thankful for you diving into the football world wholeheartedly.
Oh my God. I fell in love with it. I became obsessed with it. I became like a person who was running through the halls of my house screaming, we drafted Xavier Worthy. And my friends are like, who body snatched you? What do you mean we drafted Xavier Worthy?
I forget where I was, but you were the first person to tell me that we drafted the fastest man in the draft.
No, I was screeching. I couldn't believe it. I was freaking out. We're talking about like,
I'm like, wait, is she right? I had to look this up. I'm like, she get the wrong information here? But yeah, we traded up.
We're talking about cover 2, cover 4, cover 0, cover. We're talking. We're learning. I continue to learn.
Maybe somebody else that even knows what those coverages are.
Yeah, I'm not ready to be an analyst right now. Give me 16 months.
You're going to pick up on it. I'm telling you, you would ask some of the best questions when we were up in the booth, and there's like your desire to learn more, but your genuine excitement around it, as well as like your competitiveness.
She's not fucking around. No, Tay's not fucking around. Oh my
God.
She's not fucking around.
Reclaiming Masters. You want to tee this up?
Yeah, let's tee it up. One of my favorite things this summer was Taylor reclaiming her Masters. Her recording of her first 6 albums finally became hers.
Yep.
And you haven't really talked about it. You made that beautiful post on all your social channels thanking everyone that made it happen and everything. But why don't you tell the 92%ers how it really felt?
Oh, wow. So to catch anyone up who doesn't know about this saga, like I signed a record deal when I was 15, and I always kind of refer to it as I got my music back this summer, but I never owned my music at all. So traditionally, a lot of record deals are set up in a way that artists don't own what's called their master recordings. Owning your master recordings means that you have complete control and power over distribution, licensing, and essentially the way your legacy is shaped. It's a huge thing. It's always been a huge thing for me. Like since I was a teenager, I've been actively saving up money to buy my music back and to ever own it in the first place, because it's usually the label that owns it. But I've always wanted this to happen. So it's been sold. My music has been sold a few times. The first time that it was sold, it really ripped my heart out of my chest. And I told everybody exactly how that felt for me and what I was going through. And I started basically defiantly re-recording my music because I wanted to own it, and this was the only way I thought it was ever going to happen. And so
I knew she had a bad kid, and she's just got a little bit of a bad kid.
Yeah,
it's not a bad kid. That's a freaking savvy kid. That's what that is. That's like, hey,
I've been told I've been defiant a lot of times.
Well, you are
life,
defiant.
so.
You're very defiant.
It's like I
Insubordinate, Travis.
insubordinate. Yeah, it's I think for me, that was the closest I ever thought I would get to owning my music. And so re-recording my music, it was so exciting to get to have that opportunity, but there was still I thought about not owning my music every day. It was something that I never was, it's like an intrusive thought that I had every day. And so we do the Eras tour. After the Eras tour, I had a meeting with my team, and we decided this might be a good time to approach the current owners of it. The owners of it was a private equity firm called Shamrock Capital. I knew them to be above board people. They had been very friendly to us. What I was looking to do, though, was I wanted to buy my music outright. I don't want to be in a partnership. I don't want to own 30% of it. I want to own all of it.
Yeah. And you deserve that.
But it was a long shot to think that they would do that they would sell that asset to me.
It's a big asset.
It's a huge decision for them to make, to sell that to anyone, including me. I decided that rather than this be like a business conversation, I'm in the business of human emotion. I would so much rather lead heart first in something like this, because for me, this is not, I want to own this asset because of its returns, because of its, because of the dividends that I will receive over the years. I want it because this is my handwritten diary entries from my whole life. These are the songs I wrote about every phase of my life. This is my photography, my music videos, most of which I funded. My artwork, everything that I've ever done is in this catalog. And so rather than send lawyers or management like in a big crew, I sent my mom and my brother, who I work with, to LA, and they they sat down and they this happens. I don't ever really talk about it because it's they sat down with Shamrock Capital, and they told them what this meant for me. They told them the whole story of all the times we've tried to buy it, all the times it's fallen through, all the times we had gotten plans together and figured out something we thought was going to work and it didn't at the last minute. And so my mom calls me afterwards. She's like, look, they were wonderful. They heard us out. We have no idea which way they're going to go with this. And so I was like, I get it. I haven't gotten my hopes up about this in a decade. And so it was a couple months after the Super Bowl. We're in Kansas City. And I get a call from my mom, and she's like, you got your music. Yeah. And so sorry that it's literally been so long since this happened. It's every time I talk about it. She was like, you got your music. And I just very dramatically hit the floor, for real. Honestly, just started,
it's been a long time coming,
bawling my eyes out. And I'm just just weeping and kind of unable. I was just really? What do you mean? What do you mean? And I'm like, get yourself together, get your shit together. Just go tell Travis in a normal way.
Yeah. And
I knock on the door. He's playing video games. And I'm trying to say it in a normal way. And I'm just like, Travis!
Oh no. What just happened? And
he's he puts his headset down. He's like, guys, gotta go. And I think he thought something was wrong. And you come up and I'm just like, I got all my music back. And then just start absolutely heaving.
Just dead
crying.
weight. Just dead weight. Lose all control.
Had no power in my legs to support myself. And this changed my life. I can't believe it still. Every time I think about it, it's I have to tell the short version to everyone, because it is still this will affect the rest of my life. I think about this every day now, but instead of it being an intrusive thought that hurts me, it's, I can't believe this happened. How lucky am I? How grateful am I? I'm so grateful to the artists that helped me with my re-records, because when I did my re-records, I started doing those in 2021. Mm-hmm. And a lot of most of the industry trades were this is a bad idea. This is her sort of derailing her career in a way. Nobody's interested in you doing the same album twice. Fans are not going to be engaged with this. This is not going to go well for her.
Somebody knew though.
And it was like, I still was able to like reach out to friends of mine, like Phoebe Bridgers, Keith Urban, Maren Morris, Chris Stapleton, you know, Haley Williams from Paramore, Fall Out Boy, like all these absolutely incredible artists that like shape who I am as an artist. Yeah. And they like agreed to be a part of the re-records. And I like, you know, one of the only people I told before this happened was like, I called Phoebe Bridgers and I was just like, and she's like, did you just say what I think you said? I was like, yeah. And so this has just been like, I'm so grateful for it. It's just unbelievable. And I was so happy you were there when that happened.
I mean, because
I could not stand.
Yeah. I mean, I started crying too. You know,
you were weeping.
I was just so happy for you because I've seen how you make music. I've seen how you make these videos. I've seen the effort and the focus and the strategy behind what just one album in Tortured Poets Department and in Fortnite. And I was blown away that you had been doing this your entire life. And for, you know, your first 6 albums, you weren't given the rights to all of that. Mm-hmm. And I know what that looked like. And I know how much it burns you that you didn't have that and you didn't have your creation. Mm-hmm. And I think doing it the right way, creating the fan base that you did the right way, and leading your life in a direction that you were eventually going to get it back somehow, some way, because of you always doing things with the right intentions. So
thanks.
So how does music ownership, this is so crazy to me. So you wrote these songs, you sang these songs, you put everything into them. And don't get me wrong, there's publishing companies, people that support artists out there, but how does ownership of music even work? Like when you recorded these songs when you were 16, right? Is that like the singer
Can you dumb it down to us 95%?
Yeah.
The singer gets a certain portion, the artist gets or the songwriter gets a certain portion, and then the publishing company gets a certain portion?
Okay, so that's a great question. And there's 2 main categories that we're talking about here.
Just asked. Go ahead.
So master recordings is the actual recording.
Yes.
It's the actual vocal, band, production, mixing, mastering, that actual thing.
Yes.
Mine also included my album artwork, my music videos, everything that went along with any era of music that I had done for my first 6 albums.
Got it.
Every era.
So then there's another category, which is publishing.
Yes.
I own my publishing, which is why, you know, I have control over, you know, if my song is used in a film, I wanted them to use Taylor's version instead of the original version, the songwriter, can decide that.
Got it. Okay.
You know, and so it's like, Noted. I've always been very lucky because my publishing was protected. A lot of artists have their publishing sold away from them, or they sell their publishing, and and a lot of artists, it may not be important to them. It was always important for me. The publishing aspect of it has always been something I've had firmly in place, which is great because my songwriting is the core of why I do this, why I love it so much, and what I think has made anything happen in my career at all.
Greatest songwriter of all time.
That's very nice of you to say that. It's like, says her boyfriend.
Says a lot of people.
Basically, then you have the master recordings side of things. Now, this is a discussion that was not really brought up amongst the artist communities, especially not with fans. This was all kind of industry-centric and kind of boring contract stuff that like fans were not speaking about.
Sure.
And so one thing that I think is really great that has come about because of this is that I have so many new artists come up to me now and say, hey, I didn't even know this was a thing. Yeah. And when I went to go and negotiate for my record deal, I negotiated to have my masters revert back to me after a certain amount of years, or that I own them outright. And it's not for everyone. Not everyone cares about this. Artist to artist, artists have different priorities. Some artists sell off all their masters because everyone's allowed to have their own priorities. What I wanted, though, is that if I were to put the information out about what I went through, at least it gets artists talking about this to decide whether this is a priority for them. Because you can't know if it's a priority for you unless you know what has come before you and what has happened. And so the master recordings thing, that's your actual ownership of your recordings. To put it in perspective, if I never would have been able to buy back my music, one day someone else would be leaving all of my music from my first 6 albums to their kids in their will.
Right. Yeah.
And you think about it like that, it's like, I thought of it, I made it, I recorded it, I paid for most of those music videos. You know, I wanted an opportunity to buy that back. And that was important to me.
You feel like they're yours. They should be yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think it was easier for you to do, one, because just you talking about this, you're so aware of the business side of this and the legal ramifications, like you're more aware than I think probably most artists are. But being
woman in the world,
it's crazy. Being a songwriter,
says her boyfriend,
smartest woman in the world.
You being the songwriter, being the singer, owning the publishing rights, being able to re-record songs, that gave you leverage and able to make this move, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was it. And also, you know, in my contract, they didn't put a clause in that said I couldn't re-record because nobody was doing it and nobody thought that was a good idea.
Right.
So, and also like, who would be that stubborn? Like who would be that petty?
This badass kid over here.
They would record every single thing
it's so badass,
over and over again.
What was your favorite one to revisit?
Not just that. Hold on, Bill. But not just that. Who has a fan base that's going to listen to the same album twice in a row?
It's a good point, Jason. It's a good point.
Like honestly, and this is where they missed it. You had
you make
this
a third
diehard
1989, I'll listen to that
already
one too.
built.
That's the thing is the fans.
You told a story with the second time you released this album, right? And the fans got behind that narrative, and they're like, "Screw the first album. We're rolling with the re-recorded album because we're supporting the artist."
They were like, "We ride at dawn." Like,
That's right.
and it was amazing because you know they're the reason why the re-records worked out. Yeah. They're the reason I was able to purchase my music back because they came to the Eras tour, and basically they're the reason why any of this worked out. And I also want to note that like the other people who are like, we ride at dawn, my live band, they played on all the re-records. It's like, you want to know why they sound so perfect on the Eras tour. They played on all those records. Like they're session musicians too. And that's how good they are. And I'm so impressed just by their ability and their dexterity as musicians to be able to do that so convincingly, because there are actually there's the Taylor's versions one. I kind of prefer a lot of that stuff. I think it sounds incredible, but I'm happy to have all of it.
So that leads me to the next question, Tay. Now that you own all of it, you have the re-recordings, you have the original recordings. What should we listen to? Like, what do I roll with? Does it matter?
Choice.
You're just like whatever you guys want. Like,
yeah, it's really whatever you guys want because I love both of them. I would not have put out the re-records if I didn't think that they held up or were better. I think a lot of the vocals I did on the re-records are better than the originals.
Ooh.
Okay.
But it's like if you found a nostalgia in the originals and that was what you were listening to when you were 12 years old, bopping around in your bedroom, go crazy.
Yeah.
We got them all.
I'm going to start doing comparisons. That's what I got to do. I just got to start doing comparisons.
Yeah.
You're going to listen to every beat.
Yeah.
You're certainly, it's not mandatory, Jason.
I mean, it sounds like a good time.
I'll say this. There's a few good playlists out there that have a mixture of them all.
You've been streaming?
Yes.
Thank you.
I've been streaming for about 2 years now.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. That's why we got that spike in the,
that's what it was.
35-year-old male demographic.
Right. Yes, that 1.7 billion, that was at least 1 billion of those, for sure.
We have one IP address from one iPhone that continually is listening to this playlist. Did you have a favorite album that you re-recorded that, like, are there different eras that you liked recording more, re-recording?
I really liked them all, but I think Red was very special. There were songs that I called From the Vault songs, and there was one which I think is maybe my favorite song I've ever written called All Too Well, the 10-minute version, where I unearthed. There were originally so many more verses in that song than ended up being on the album that I had put out when I originally put out Red. I made the glorious fortuitous mistake of saying that to my fans in an interview.
Words.
You know
Okay.
what those words mean.
I love it.
You're so handsome. So basically, I said that in an interview to my fans, and they just like hung on to it. They were like, where's the 10-minute version? Give us the 10-minute version.
Yeah.
And when it came time to doing Taylor's version and re-recording the album, I went back in, found the verses, restructured the song to the way that it pretty much was when I had originally written it, put them back in. And that song is one of my favorite things I've ever done. And it was when we were on the Eras tour, I'm watching people just like cathartically scream this song to the point where I'm like, do you need to go to the hospital? Like it was so passionate, the fan response to that song at the Eras tour. And I remember thinking so many times, like, what if this never happened? Like, what if I never had to
it's one of the most
re-record
iconic
this?
parts of that tour.
It was so fun. And so like, yeah, it really did make me fall back in love with that album specifically. I have a song with Phoebe Bridgers that I really love on that, you know, From the Vault. Chris Stapleton was a part of it as well. And I think that one, I've always loved Fearless in 1989 in a very pure way. But Red, I've kind of gone back and forth over the years and been like, you know, like that re-recording it made me just be like, oh, God, I love that album. I have no complicated feelings about that. I wouldn't have done anything different. Maybe except to include the original verses the first time.
Well, we just talked about the different eras a little bit. Let's talk about perhaps the most daunting thing that any artist has ever taken on, which is the Eras tour.
Oh my God.
You finally finished it up last December in Vancouver. I don't know. What did it feel like to wrap it up? What does it feel like now? Like not touring and being on a jet every day, basically trying to go from country to country. Yeah.
I mean,
it's insane.
It feels great, Jason, to be honest. I'm not going to lie to you.
You don't miss it?
I miss it. I do miss it, but it's like, it was perfect for what it was.
Yes,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it was a lot of physical therapy, and it was a lot of like being in a state of perpetual physical discomfort, kind of like when you're in season, you know?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm not getting hit
my first time
by huge 300 pounders, but the heels.
When I saw the recovery station in the hotel room after with the toe spacers.
I got an acupuncture mat.
I'm telling you, dude, the similarities were crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh. She does more than I do.
We're like comparing physical therapy stories, like recovery stuff. But
have you ever tried taping your ankles?
We related on how much
big ankle
we put our
tape guy.
bodies through.
I miss it because I miss the fans and I miss that connection. But at the same time, it was so special. It was like the most formative time of my life. I learned so much about how far I can push myself, and if I set a goal, you know. Making that a 3.5-hour show in the beginning of the tour, it's like you can't like be sick one day and then decide tonight it's going to be 2.5 hours.
Right.
And it's really just like prioritizing the fans' experience before anything else. And my fellow
with a broken heart.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Like,
dude.
Don't you get me started.
Or like stomach flu, or like just like aching feet or blisters or whatever. Like it just was.
Which she had all of this going through.
Usually
and it's
all
like,
at the same time. But
going into her fourth show.
Yeah. And it just, it was kind of the coolest thing in the world, because when we were putting together this tour, I had some really lofty goals I wanted to reach conceptually, because I wanted to show fans, and especially younger fans, visuals and sort of performance art references that were really important to me as a kid, and what inspired me to want to do this, right? So like, I wanted to put elements of musical theater, Broadway, ballet, you know, scenery that you would see in an opera,
Who thinks like this?
I was about to say, I watched the whole tour. I just thought it was amazing. I didn't notice.
But that's exactly it. I wanted it to be references that I thought were really high concept and really high value for fans, and for them to see things they hadn't necessarily seen before, all in one concert. But I wanted to do it at the highest intensity, rapid fire. You're seeing something new every 15 to 30 seconds. And so it feels like you're scrolling in an algorithm, right? Yes. And when I heard reports of people saying that they got actual amnesia after the concerts, I was like, oh, I think we did it.
Yeah.
I think we did it. Nailed it. That's genuine. I wasn't even shooting for that goal when they're like, I saw so many things and I experienced a state of euphoria that I now don't remember what happened to me. I was like, oh my God.
All I remember is that she didn't want to meet me. That's it.
That's it. That's all he got about.
And as much as you, and I've told you this, as much as you want to, give New Heights credit, I give the Eras Tour credit.
Yeah?
I give the Eras Tour credit because if I would have never gone to that show and been mesmerized and just been captivated, and then left with such a desire to want to meet you, I would have never went on here and told everybody how butthurt I was. Yeah, I had never just been so engulfed in the curiosity of who you were.
Oh, that's
and
really
look at this.
wonderful.
One of the best things about that last statement is you didn't even know what the word engulf meant before, like you met Taylor. Like you've broadened your horizons so much.
We're the perfect. I'm telling you, she makes me so much better.
Thank you for saying that. That.
And then, but it's like you see you on the stage and you see how crazy you can get an entire stadium going, and then I get you in a room and it's like I've known you forever. It's like it was just the easiest conversation I ever had, and it was just so much fun that it just knocked my socks off, from what they say.
Knocked your socks off.
Yeah.
Thank you. I felt
she
the same
blew me
exact
away,
way
and
about you.
I had never experienced something so mesmerizing on stage and then so real and so beautiful in person.
Hey, that's
should I leave? I'm just
gonna I think so. Honestly, at this point, I think everyone should leave.
I don't know where to go from here now. How many countries did you do the Eras Tour in?
47,000 countries, Jason.
You just listed that in the beginning.
Well, I said 51 cities, which I don't know if that's right.
It was a lot of countries. What was really fun about all the countries that we went to is when we first started dating, he was like, I always wanted to go and really vacation in Europe and see Australia and, go to Asia. And I was like, well, I got a tour for that. It's coming up.
Nice. You got room for a 6'5" guy to
we can figure it out. Like, no, the dimensions are wild, but we'll make some room. I think we'll have to leave some equipment trunks behind.
Thank you for accommodating
the size, but absolutely we'd be happy to have you. And we got to travel the world and have vacations and adventures when I wasn't on stage, which was really fun because like Europe was so fun. Australia is amazing. Yeah. It was great. And that entire part of our lives, like I was on tour for so long and now I finally am not on tour. And it's kind of great because I'm getting my hobbies back. Like when I was on tour, all I had the bandwidth for was what's the acoustic mashup this week? How do I say welcome to the Eras Tour in Portuguese? That was the only thing taking up my brain space. And now it's
been so fun to see what Taylor actually gets into around the house.
It's like
guest today is a singer, songwriter, and producer and director from Nashville, Tennessee. That's bullshit. She is from Reading, Pennsylvania. She is the most awarded artist in the history of the American Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards, and iHeart Radio Music Awards.
Yeah, damn.
She has 14 Grammy Awards and is the only artist in the history to win Album of the Year 4 times. Last December, she wrapped up the Eras Tour, which spanned 149 shows across 51 cities, 5 continents. It was the most attended tour of all time. I'm still going. Hold on. Her last album, The Torture Poets Department, set a record with 1.76 billion streams globally within the first week alone.
All right.
In the first week?
And as a fan of that guy on the Chiefs, she has 19 wins, 2 AFC titles, and a Super Bowl. 92% Are you ready for it? Making your podcasting debut, the most aggressive guest in the history of shows, Taylor Swift!
That intro, Jason. Oh my God.
I've seen this before.
No,
He's
look,
about to
his
black out.
soul
Jason,
has left his
just breathe.
body.
I'm cramping.
Just
I'm
breathe.
cramping.
No, that was so good. Thank
I've seen this
you.
before.
I tried, Tay.
Thank
I
you for
tried.
screaming for like 47 seconds. That was so nice. That was so
Tay,
sweet.
welcome to New Heights.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on my favorite podcast. As we all know, you guys have a lot of male sports fans that listen to your podcast.
Yeah.
And I think we all know that if there's one thing that male sports fans want to see in their spaces and on...
Jason Kelce's shocked reaction when Taylor Swift agrees to be baby Finley's godmom on podcast. Wednesday, August 13th, the atmosphere in the New Heights podcast studio today was filled with excitement but also contained surprises that no one, including Jason Kelce, could have expected. He had just returned from a short vacation with his family, especially some precious time with his newborn daughter, baby Finley. Jason walked into the studio with a bright smile, carrying the warm energy of a proud father. Sitting across from him today was a special guest, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce's girlfriend and currently the center of many media stories. Travis, as usual, played the role of host, but today he seemed to be hatching a small plan to create a sweet shock for his brother. Today, we're not just talking about football or music, Jason, Travis began, his eyes sparkling meaningfully. We also have a special announcement related to your family. Jason raised an eyebrow, his eyes curious. What announcement? You just left the hospital a few days ago. What's going on? Taylor sat quietly, smiling slightly, as if knowing what was coming. Before the surprise, the podcast took a few minutes for Jason to share his experience of becoming a father for the third time. His voice was warmer than usual, sometimes choked up. Finley was born healthy, Kylie was strong as always, but this time it was different, Jason said. I thought I was used to it, but the moment I saw her for the first time, it was all new. It was like I was learning to love all over again. Travis nodded, his eyes shining with pride. He knew his brother was a devoted father, but this time, there was a new bond about to be formed. Taylor listened intently, her eyes softening as Jason talked about his family. She understood the feeling of attachment and responsibility, and that made the moment all the more meaningful. After a few minutes of sharing, Travis looked at Taylor with a beckoning look. She nodded slightly, then turned to Jason. Jason, Taylor began, her voice soft but firm, Travis and I have talked, and if you and Kylie agree, I would be honored to be Finley's godmother. The room fell silent. Jason's eyes widened, almost in disbelief. He dropped the pen he was holding, placing his hand on his chest as if to steady his racing heart. Wait. You mean? Really? Jason asked, his voice cracking with surprise. Taylor smiled and nodded. Really? I want to be more than just a family friend, I want to be a part of Finley's life. Jason laughed, but it was a laugh of emotion, mixed with a little awkwardness. He wiped his eyes with his hand, then shook his head. I didn't think I'd be this emotional. Taylor, Kylie and I would be so happy if you did that. But I never imagined hearing it on the podcast. Travis laughed. It was my idea, Jason. You know, I've been keeping it a secret for weeks, and Taylor agreed to go big and say it on air to get your real reaction. Jason shook his head, laughing and sighing. Oh my God, who could have prepared for this? Taylor shared why she accepted the offer. I've seen how loving and caring the Kelce family is. I admire the love between you and Travis, between Kylie and everyone around her. Finley is lucky to be born into a loving family, and I want to do my small part to protect her, guide her, and be there for her when she needs her. She said, her voice so sincere that both Jason and Travis could feel the seriousness of her words. Jason replied, I believe Finley would be very lucky to have a godmother like you. And I also believe, with what you have done for Travis and this family, this decision is the right one. No one hypes up a guest like Travis and Jason Kelce. And the New Heights podcast hosts are getting ready to introduce the ultimate guest when their special episode with Travis' longtime girlfriend Taylor Swift drops on Wednesday, August 13th. The Kelce brothers have been teasing their highly anticipated episode for days now, and on Wednesday morning, they shared a video of Jason's passionate introduction for the record-breaking pop star. From Nashville, Tennessee, that's B. From Reading, Pennsylvania, Jason began, while Swift laughed at the flub. As Jason belted out Swift's many accomplishments and records, Travis cut in, shouting, "God damn," and "sheesh," as the "so high school" singer blushed. "I'm still going, hold up," Jason declared, cutting off Travis. Of her most recent album, The Tortured Poets Department, Jason shared, she set a record with 1.76 billion streams globally within the first week alone, which seemed to be news to Swift, who asked, "Did it?" "All right." Proud partner Travis questioned, "In the first week?" Jason also commented on Swift's shared accolades with Travis, noting the Kansas City Chiefs star's accomplishments during their 2-year romance. "And as a fan of that guy on the Chiefs, she has 19 wins, 2 AFC titles, and a Super Bowl," he declared as Swift pumped her arms in celebration. 92%ers, are you ready for it? Jason asked the New Heights listeners. Making her podcasting debut, the most requested guest in the history of shows, Taylor Swift. The Grammy winner looked shocked by the guttural intro from her boyfriend's brother, saying, "That intro, Jason. Oh my God. No, look, his soul has left his body," as Travis noted, "I've seen this before." Jason jokingly declared, "I'm cramping. I'm cramping." "No, that was so good," Swift assured Jason. "Thank you for screaming for like 47 seconds for me. That was so nice. That was so sweet." Using his pet name for his girlfriend, Travis said, "Tay-Tay, welcome to New Heights." "Thank you, thanks for having me on my favorite podcast," Swift replied. Kelce has been the heart and soul of the Chiefs for over a decade, hauling in over 1,000 passes for 12,151 yards and 77 touchdowns. He has 3 Super Bowl titles, 10 Pro Bowl appearances and a few incredible NFL postseason records. Whenever he steps off the field for the final time, he'll receive a first-class ticket to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. With the 2025 NFL season almost here, Kelce was named GQ's cover model for September. The legendary tight end opened up about his career as well as his relationship with Taylor Swift. During his conversation with GQ, Kelce revealed that Kansas City wasn't his preferred landing spot during the 2013 NFL Draft. Kelce, an Ohio native, wanted the Cleveland Browns to draft him. He told former head coach Rob Chudzinski that he'd die for the city. "I cried in Chudzinski's office and said, I will FNG die for this city. I literally was in tears," Kelce told GQ. "I said, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. I grew up down the street. I would FNG do anything to play for the Cleveland Browns." He looked at me like I was insane. I don't think he'd ever had somebody just pour out their emotions. The Browns probably regret passing up on Kelce. At the end of the day, everything worked out in Kelce's favor. Regardless of how this season plays out, he'll be remembered as the best tight end of his generation. The lead-up to the 2013 NFL Draft carried with it a universal warning from talent evaluators. This year's crop of NFL prospects was not looking very good. There weren't many consensus blue-chip players in the 2013 NFL Draft. There were even fewer high-quality quarterbacks, with many wondering whether one of Geno Smith or E.J. Manuel would be selected in the first round. The battle for the number 1 overall pick turned into a battle between Jake Fisher and Luke Jokel. At the same time, Alabama cornerback D. Milliner and West Virginia receiver Tavon Austin were viewed as 2 of the class's more exciting players. All told, the warnings about the strength of the draft class proved valid. Many of the top selections in the 2013 NFL Draft ultimately proved to be busts, and few from the 254-man class went on to become consistent, high-quality NFL players. Among them was tight end Travis Kelce. The Cincinnati product wasn't selected in the first round of the draft, and most only knew him as the younger brother of Philadelphia Eagles center Jason Kelce. Even so, the athletic prospect performed well enough to draw the interest of Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. And since being selected, Kelce has turned himself into one of the best players from the entire 2013 NFL Draft. Even so, the athletic prospect performed well enough to draw the interest of Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. And since being selected, Kelce has turned himself into one of the best players from the entire 2013 NFL Draft. Eric Fisher was the number 1 overall pick in the 2013 NFL Draft. The Chiefs selected the offensive tackle out of Central Michigan and planned to make him the team's long-term starter at left tackle. Fisher played 132 games, 128 starts, across 9 career NFL seasons, 8 in Kansas City and 1 with the Indianapolis Colts. He was named a Pro Bowler twice, in 2018 and 2020, and won Super Bowl 55 while blocking on Patrick Mahomes' blind side. The NFL star revealed that his current favorite is the Blue Talisman X Nihilo. He then showcased another perfume, a Trape Reeves by Louis Vuitton, while giving the audience a brief story about his French language struggles. As he attempted to pronounce the name of the perfume, he revealed that, "I can't speak French. Fun fact, I actually failed French as a freshman, and I wasn't allowed to play football my sophomore year. So, kids, make sure you do your homework." Apart from these two, he unveiled the last one, from Louis Vuitton's recent edition called Lovers. "Every store I go into, boutiques or even a smell good store, I just have at it, start spraying, waving them around, smelling them. It's all trial and error. Listen, I'm like really old, Nate Taylor. My grandkids will be all over it. I'm happy for them," Reid said. "Both of them care about each, and what a plus that is. The older you get, you want these guys to have someone they can settle down with. I think it's a neat deal for both of them. Whenever I'm with her, it feels like we're just regular people. When there is not a camera on us, we're just two people that are in love," Kelce said. "It can be perceived as something else because of how much it is talked about and how much we are tracked whenever we do go out, but I would say that it's as normal of. It happened very organically, even though from a media standpoint it was being tracked. It still happened very organically. Nothing I've ever done has been a controlled, organized process. When I say it was so organic, we fell in love just based off the people we were sitting in a room together with. We are two fun-loving people who have the morals to appreciate everyone for who they are. We share all those values. It kind of just took the explicit off." Kansas City Chiefs star tight end Travis Kelce is one of the most recognizable figures in professional sports, and his celebrity status has skyrocketed due to his relationship with pop megastar Taylor Swift. Kelce, a 3-time Super Bowl champion and 10-time NFL Pro Bowl selection, is one of the most decorated players in league history. However, his past 2 seasons have seen a significant drop in production from Kelce, who turns 36 on October 5. Kelce caught 8 touchdowns for the Chiefs over the past 2 seasons, compared to 21 touchdowns from 2021 to 22. He also had a career-low 823 receiving yards and 8.5 yards per catch, each a stark decline from a career-high 1,416 yards and 13.5 yards per catch in 2020. While age is certainly a factor for Kelce's declining play after 12 seasons in the NFL, he also admits his heightened celebrity status has played a role, he told GQ in a recent cover story for the magazine. Kelce and Swift went public with their relationship in 2023 after months of speculation. In August 2024, it was announced that Kelce would appear in Adam Sandler's Netflix sequel, Happy Gilmore 2, which was released in July. "I think it might have slipped a little bit because I did have a little bit more focus in trying to set myself up. And opportunities came up where I was excited to venture into a new world of acting and being an entertainer," Kelce told GQ. "I don't say this as, I shouldn't have done it. I'm just saying that my work ethic is such that I have so much pride in how I do things that I never want the product to tail off, and I feel like these past 2 years haven't been to my standard. I just have such a motivation to show up this year for my guys. While Kelce has won 3 Super Bowls in his career, he's months removed from the Chiefs losing Super Bowl 59 to the Philadelphia Eagles, 40-22, in February. A win for Kansas City would have marked the Chiefs' 3rd consecutive Super Bowl championship, a feat that has never been accomplished in NFL history. "Win a Super Bowl is the only goal," Kelce said. "It's the only goal. It's every goal." Kelce, a Cleveland Heights, Ohio, native who played college football at Cincinnati, also discussed his desire to play for his hometown Cleveland Browns. While preparing for the NFL Draft in 2013, Kelce met with former Browns head coach Rob Chudzinski and expressed his passion for his hometown Browns. "I cried in Chud's office and said, I will, die for this city," Kelce said. "I literally was in tears. I said, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. I grew up down the street. I would, do anything to play for the Cleveland Browns." He looked at me like I was insane. I don't think he'd ever had somebody just pour out their emotions. The Browns passed on the opportunity to draft Kelce, and he instead was selected by the Chiefs in the 3rd round, 63rd overall, of the 2013 NFL Draft. Last season, Kelce played against the Browns in Cleveland for the 2nd time in his career as the Chiefs defeated the Browns, 21-7. Kelce and the Chiefs also defeated the Browns, 37-21, in his first game playing at Cleveland in 2018. After 12 seasons in the NFL, all with the Chiefs and star quarterback Patrick Mahomes, Kelce ranks 3rd all-time amongst NFL tight ends in receptions, 1,004, and yards, 12,151, behind leader Tony Gonzalez and Jason Witten, respectively. He was so fun. He was like, I don't care. I'll do that. And over the last few years we've seen this influx of athletes wanting to be more involved in fashion, and the tunnel walks have become iconic, so I was expecting him to have an opinion, and he was just so down to experiment. And you also have to think, this was right after those pictures came out of him and people were talking about how he wasn't in the best shape. And I think shooting him a little bit more raw and showing the body that he's in is almost like a fuck you to the critics, which I thought was really, really, really powerful. Do you follow football? I understand football, but what I understand more than the sport is pop culture. So I let that be the guide. So how did the swamp scene go down? There's an image of Travis holding an alligator, but were there actual gators in the swamp that you had to watch out for? Abso-fucking-lutely. We were at Max Fish Camp, which is run by these 2 guys, and the property has been in their family for 5 generations. So they know the animals and they know exactly what to do and what not to do. They were jumping in the water with the alligators. And they had a wild fucking pig running around. What was the deal with the pig? It was their pet pig. And they brought that alligator from inside the house. That was their pet. Oh, wow. I assumed we rented the gator for the shoot. No. They owned it. So you got this pig with horns running around, and you got these alligators kind of looking at the pig waiting for their moment. I assume you didn't get in the swamp, but I noticed one of your Hermes bags did get in the swamp with Travis. Tell me about that shot. I keep laughing because you keep taking me back to the day. So when we had the fitting, I thought we needed a juxtaposition between this really French and really high-end and really luxury object with something that is, the polar opposite. I thought bringing those worlds together would create an amazing picture. I wanted to shoot it so bad, I flew my assistant in from LA with that bag. And it's also the Hermes HAC 60, which is the biggest version of the bag, and also super rare. And I thought him holding that bag with his frame was just. And when we were shooting it was magical. Vest by Cat Workwear. Necklace, his own. There's one particularly intimate photograph from the shoot, where Travis is submerged in the ocean wearing just a fluorescent construction vest. If I had to bet which look will go viral tomorrow, I would put my money on this one. How did you and Ryan make it happen? Ryan wanted that perfect sunset sky, and we were all in that water for so long, just waiting for the perfect lighting. And that's the genius of Ryan, is to find those moments of intimacy between talent and camera and environment. In my crazy mind, it was like, oh, he just got off a construction job. He's been working all day. He's just going to go jump into the ocean to cool off. You know what I mean? And I don't know how to swim and I'm up to my fucking neck in water telling him to slick your hair back and do all these things. But it was really cool. The waves were really mild and the water was warm. Sometimes everything is just preordained to be perfect. Do you feel like you came away with a new understanding of Travis? For sure. He's just fucking cool. Just a big kind of teddy bear, always smiling, always laughing. He laughed through the whole shoot. Nothing was too ridiculous. He wasn't afraid to try anything. GQ occasionally takes photos of people in pools or oceans or swamps or whatever. I've always wondered, what do we do with all the soaking wet clothes? How do those conversations with the brands go? I don't think we told them, to be quite honest. It's been a week of enchanting surprises for Taylor Swift fans, including Ed Kelce. After the Grammy winner announced her 12th album The Life of a Showgirl, in a teaser for her upcoming appearance on Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce's New Heights podcast, Ed reacted to the milestone, admitting he was mostly out of the loop. I knew nothing about this announcement, Travis and Jason's dad told Australia's Today August 13th. I knew at some point the boys wanted to get her on the podcast, but I didn't know when it was coming up. One detail Ed does know for sure: that the Grammy winner has been booked and busy since December. I know Taylor's been working pretty hard since she stopped the tour, he explained, referring to her 21-month-long Eras tour. She's taken some breaks to watch some football games, but she's been out in LA working on this album. My guess is that, although I haven't heard anything, he added of the album, it's going to be like everything else she does, it's going to be beautiful. As for how Taylor announced her long-awaited album over a year after she released The Tortured Poets Department, well, she made the big announcement by pulling a blurred-out vinyl from a mint green briefcase during a preview clip of the August 13th episode of New Heights. So, I wanted to show you something, she said in the teaser shared to Instagram at 12:12 a.m. Eastern Time on August 12th. This is my brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl. Though she didn't mention when fans could expect new music, her site says the products, available for pre-order, will ship before October 13th, adding a disclaimer: this is not a release date, official release date to be announced. And while Swifties were overjoyed by her guest appearance on the podcast, not all of Travis and Jason usual listeners felt the same way. However, in a following New Heights teaser shared to social media, Taylor made it clear that she doesn't care if her presence evokes magic, madness, heaven or sin. Thanks for having me on my favorite podcast, she said in the August 13th clip. As we all know, you guys have a lot of male sports fans that listen to your podcast. And I think we all know, she added, if there's one thing that male sports fans want to see in their spaces and on their screens, it's more of me. To see all the Easter eggs Taylor has dropped about her new era, keep reading. On August 12, 2024, Taylor was photographed in a matching plaid miniskirt and cropped jacket, but there was nothing clueless about it. As pointed out by Super Sleuth Kristen, at Perfectly Fine 89, not only could it be construed that Taylor is making very purposeful eye contact with the camera, but also the orange and green print of her outfit matches the color palette of the cover of The Life of a Showgirl, which Taylor revealed exactly 1 year later on Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce's New Heights podcast. In an episode teaser posted at 12:12 a.m. Eastern Time on August 12, 2025, Taylor picked up a mint green briefcase emblazoned with TS in orange and pulled out the cover of what will be her 12th studio album. Blurred for now, but obviously green and orange. Of course, Taylor is pretty mad about plaid, and she also wore a tartan print to the 2024 MTV Video Music Awards, where she said the fateful words, "My boyfriend Travis." The Life of a Showgirl is already available to pre-order from Taylor's website, which notes that whatever hard copy you desire, vinyl, CD, or cassette, will ship before October 13th. Fair enough, Taylor's connection to the number 13 well established. But, as Kristen also noticed, October 3rd, aka 10 to 3, not only adds up to 13, it's both National Plaid Day and National Boyfriend's Day. See above. Hindsight is always 2013 in the Taylorverse. On the morning of August 11th, the official Taylor Nation social accounts posted a carousel of 12 pics showing Taylor on stage in a variety of orange ensembles, captioned, "Thinking about when she said, 'See you next era.'" After briefly mulling over retirement during the off-season, Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce has been all in on being the best version of himself for the 2025 season. Some are wondering where Kelce ranks among the top TEs in the NFL now that he's entering his 13th season and is coming off career lows in receiving yards and touchdowns. The answer to that may be a bit tricky as the Chiefs try to utilize their deep cast of pass catchers and preserve Kelce throughout the long grind of the season. As long as he's fresh and healthy, Kelce will still be a game changer. Following Monday's training camp practice, Chiefs pass game coordinator Joe Blaymeyer shared a story of Kelce rejuvenating the offense while it was in a sluggish state by making a big play. "Today was one of the hotter days of training camp in full pads," Blaymeyer said. "We started off slow on offense. Travis gets a route one-on-one, and we hadn't seen many completions out there today, but Travis beat his man one-on-one, breaks out for a 20-yard gain, and kind of sets the tone for everybody that hey, if we get man-to-man coverage, we're winning these routes." The veteran that he is, the amount of years out here, and then when everybody was pushing through the dog days of camp, it was him who made the play one-on-one against the defense. That kind of just goes to that bigger picture where maybe you don't recognize the years as much because it's just the same old Travis. That's what he's always been doing. For him to be able to dig deep and do that, that was a fountain of youth moment today in full pads out here. That goes to show that Kelce is still someone the Chiefs can turn to when the chips are down and they need a pickup. It's not only a reflection of him still possessing top-end physical traits, but also a tribute to his leadership. Kelce certainly has nothing to prove and wouldn't be blamed for taking it easy during a tough practice, but he's just not wired that way, which is why he's an all-time great. The NFL star shared details about his relationship with the music megastar in a new GQ cover story. "Whenever I'm with her, it feels like we're just regular people. When there is not a camera on us, we're just two people that are in love." The 35-year-old addressed the non-stop rumors surrounding his relationship with the Lavender Haze hitmaker, also 35. "It can be perceived as something else because of how much it is talked about and how much we are tracked whenever we do go out, but I would say that it's as normal of," he told the publication, "it can be perceived as something else because of how much it is talked about and how much we are tracked whenever we do go out, but I would say that it's as normal of." While reflecting on the start of their relationship, Travis said it felt completely natural. "It happened very organically even though from a media standpoint it was being tracked," he shared. "It still happened very organically." The American football star also revealed how his feelings for Taylor eventually developed into a relationship. "Nothing I've ever done has been a controlled, organized process," he explained. "When I say it was so organic, we fell in love just based off the people we were sitting in a room together with. We are two fun-loving people who have the morals to appreciate everyone for who they are. We share all those values. It kind of just took the F***K off," the sports star said. "Nowadays, I just want to be respected and loved by the people that I'm surrounded by in my work." Travis continued, "I want to leave it better than where it was when I started. And I see her having those same values." The couple have been dating since the summer of 2023 and made their public debut at a Kansas City Chiefs game in September that year. Kelce has been as elite as it comes at the tight end position for the past decade. But the reality is that he's 35 and coming off the worst season of his career statistically. Kelce had a career low in receiving yards, touchdowns and average yards per catch, with 823 yards, 3 TDs and 8.5 YPC in the 2024 campaign. The world's arguably most watched superstar boyfriend still had 97 receptions and 133 receptions. Some rankings have Kelce as high as in the top 5, with many having him at number 7. It feels like we may see Kelce dip out of the top 10 potentially, as his numbers clearly have been on a steady decline as he reaches his mid-30s in what could end up being his final season in the NFL, as he is on the quest for a 4th Super Bowl title with the Chiefs. Kelce might respond to all that with a typical Kelce prime season with Patrick Mahomes and just say, "Are you ready for it?" Let's take a look at 4 other overvalued tight ends for the 2025 fantasy football season. Speaking of top 10, David Njoku is sitting around number 9 on the fantasy tight end rankings heading into this season. The problem is, who the heck is throwing the 29-year-old the football? The Browns have a crowded quarterback room and we still have no clue who their starter is. It's assumed it will be Joe Flacco, but that will change during the season. With the uncertainty of whether it's Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, or the most popular candidate Shedeur Sanders, Njoku will also face uncertainty. Njoku dealt with injuries last year, played 11 games, finishing with just 505 yards, 64 receptions, and 5 touchdowns. He had 97 targets, which is a mix of drops and just bad QB play. The other story was about his mom's work. Donna Kelce got her college degree in communications, with the aspiration to go into radio or television. It really didn't go to waste, she tells me, shortly before it is announced that she will appear in the next season of the reality competition show The Traitors. Those industries, she says, would put up with women, but didn't see us as anything serious. So she entered the field of banking, eventually landing at KeyBank, based in downtown Cleveland. When I would get kicked out of school for fighting, Travis said, would sometimes have to go with my mom to work and hang out with her. Over the years, and with each successive suspension, he was able to witness his mother's ambition realized. It went from cubicles to a really nice office in the back, to all of a sudden the offices are getting bigger and bigger, and now she's got a name tag on her office. I literally saw my mom go through it by being a little badass kid. Donna contends her son wasn't sent home for fighting, sometimes he went above and beyond, overboard, trying to make the other kids laugh. He just loved attention. Which he still does, God bless him. Now, Kelce didn't tell me these stories to show how crappy he was at school. He told them to show how he gets his work ethic from his parents, how determined they were to give their 2 sons a chance to find and pursue their dreams, and how much he loves them for that, among so many other reasons. Still, I also knew from my research that he'd been ineligible to play football his sophomore year of high school because he failed French class, and that he didn't get his college degree until 2022. So, how is a guy like that, a guy who during a live taping of New Heights at the University of Cincinnati chugged a beer in cap and gown while belatedly receiving his diploma, able to look at Tony Villani's graffitied whiteboards and easily decipher all those complex diagrams seemingly straight out of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory? He's incredibly intelligent, says Jason Kelce. But he never really cared enough about school to be in AP courses. I was always in AP courses, and then we'd take the same proficiency test, and he'd get a higher grade. It's like, how are you getting a better math grade when you haven't even taken algebra yet? Jason then tells me a story of how one Christmas when he was 8 and Travis was 6, they both got the same erector set. They sat at the kitchen table with their father putting them together. Ed and Jason carefully read the instructions before beginning the assembly. When they were done reading, they looked up to find Travis had already finished. Travis has always had these moments that we refer to as Travis moments, Ed says when I ask him about the story. He will suddenly surprise you by doing something or knowing something or seeing something. Ed provides another example. When Travis was in grade school, we were called in to discuss some problems he was having, his teacher and a counselor and Donna and me. I wasn't buying that there was anything wrong with him. But I shut up, listened to them, let them do their spiel. And the teacher said, "Travis, I want you to write your name so that I can read it." Travis was sitting across the table from her. He wrote his name upside down and backwards. Alex Smith also had his share of Travis moments. Smith was the Chiefs' starting quarterback for Kelce's first 5 years in the NFL, before he was succeeded by Patrick Mahomes. Most people credit Mahomes with helping Kelce achieve his full potential, including Kelce himself. But Kelce also acknowledges how crucial Smith, one of my favorite teammates, favorite people in my entire career, was in his development. The Chiefs' offense favored wide receivers. As tight end, Kelce would often be by himself on one side of the field. So he started tweaking his routes, tinkering and freestyling, just to see if he could get open. I like to play to the rhythm, if you think of it as a piano player, Kelce says. One hand provides the structure for the song, while the other hand crafts the melody your brain can't help but follow. But I'm always on the quarterback's timing. I'm always making sure that I'm not screwing up anybody else's route. But at the same time, I'm going to manipulate the defense. I'm non-stop trying to get in those guys' heads. 1. Keeping them in a reactionary position. But 2. If I understand what this guy is being taught on this play in terms of leverage, in terms of when I threaten him, I can move him, now I can move guys to open up windows. Now I can attract attention to open up somebody else. In Kelce's third season, with the Chiefs' offense struggling, Smith and then quarterbacks coach Matt Nagy sat down to watch film from their most recent game. I'll never forget, says Smith. Every single pass play, wherever I was going, whatever the concept intended for me to throw, whatever defensive look I was getting, it didn't matter, Travis was open. He was supposed to turn out, but on this one he flipped in, and he was open. He always put his little twist on it, and it worked. The number one insight for us coming out of that meeting was that we needed to get the ball to Travis way more. When in doubt, throw Travis the ball. Soon after, they were playing the Denver Broncos. Kelce had already caught one pass on a fake shallow cross that he turned back out. They ran it again. This time the defensive end didn't bite on the fake. As a quarterback, says Smith, I have to generally know where you're going to be. It's part of accountability and timing. I've got to trust that when I throw it, you're going to be there. Travis instinctively did this weird little hesitation and then just kept running the shallow cross. This is an NFL game. We had never talked about this. This was not remotely a possibility for him when we installed this play. It turned into a 35-yard gain. This is the brilliance of Kelce. He did the Randy Moss, put his hand up. There aren't many guys you can trust when they put their hand up. I trusted him and he made it right. It's pretty savant what he's been able to do.